Hello everyone and welcome back to Of Bricks and Dragons. Today I am looking at one of the Technic sets. These are one of the small ones. We have the Bulldozer here. As you know, I don't do a lot of the Technic sets. I do more of the regular sets. And I think I mentioned in one of the other ones. They are fun. The big difference, going from doing the regular sets to the Technic really comes into the fact of, well, this isn't a... they don't tell you what all pieces to really have. So, when you're taking that leap in that, you're trying to make sure you're hitting all the right pieces in the build or whatever. It gets a little bit more challenging, but there again, I think when you look at a lot of the Technic sets, they really are geared more for older kids or the adults, and that. So, I'm just going to stay with some of the smaller ones, mainly because, for me, I think the smaller ones really fit with the figures a little bit better. So using a figure here, of course, the way this one's built, I really couldn't get a figure in here if I wanted to. On one of the other sets, it looks like the cab, you could actually fit the figure in. Not that I'm going to put the figure in. It doesn't open up to actually allow me to get the figure in, a minifigure in there, but it's pretty close. So for that, I'm going to stay with just some of the small builds. But doing the little bulldozer here, it is kind of nice doing the tracks, although it does take a little bit of time to do them. Not a lot, but it does take a little bit of time. I usually figure out how many pieces we're going to do, and I'll do them in smaller sets and I'll clip them all together. These were 24, so I just did three groups of 8 just so I knew I could keep track of them all, and that worked out pretty good. These roll really nice, I will say that. Doing this on my pool table, it rolls back and forth pretty good. We do have some mechanical parts here, so we can lift up our dozer blade, or we can put it all the way down. And that works out really nice. It is a little bit on the wider side, so if I was going to try and use it on any of my streets, which I don't think I will, I do have a small area where it's an excavation site right underneath some of the city, so I think this is probably where it's going to get placed. Like it's just kind of sitting there waiting to be used, something like that. So we did have a couple extra pieces here. So we have 2 extra track pieces and a couple extra connectors here. Not very many, but just a couple. But for a small build, I think this was about like $10. So I was just going with some smaller builds, just dipping my toes into it per se, and just kind of going from there. And like I said, it does roll pretty good. The tracks, I can feel them while I'm kind of going back and forth. I didn't have any major issues putting this together. I know before I got these pieces on here, I was trying to get this balanced out and they came undone, but that's no big deal. And then of course, as you see, the track's actually going over this arm, which doesn't really seem to impede it at all. It flows very nicely, so that's not a big deal. Normally you would, if this was a real one, you would have had a couple wheels or something up here, but seeing that this is a small light vehicle and that done out of Legos, it's not a big deal. I don't think it's going to wear too much on here, especially seeing that it's going to be sitting for the most part. I think if I was a younger kid, maybe after a long time it might wear away a little bit, but I don't think that's going to be an issue. I know when I was a little kid, most of the time I was tearing this stuff apart and then trying to build something else out of it anyway. So I think most kids probably are doing that yet. I know my daughters, when they were building, because they saw me and I would build stuff and I would just keep it together, and I told them, you do what you want with your stuff. But I think for the most part they kept it together as well. But try to encourage them to use their imagination to come up with their own ideas. I think that's a big thing for kids. Let their imagination go, be creative and expressive and all that stuff. So, but with this being built the way it is, I think it works really nice. It is a decent small build. It would in some ways be a little bit on the nice side if I could maybe get a minifigure in there, but just with how it's all built up, I don't see how it could really truly pull that off. But it is a nice little build here. It looks really nice. Everything works out pretty good. So, and with it being a small build, I don't have a lot of extra stuff on it, so this is going to be a shorter video. So with that being said, I appreciate the fact that you're joining me here today, taking a look at what we have, sitting around the pool table and sharing in the fun and enjoyment. So hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.